Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Kingdom Come Deliverance Let's Play. So I've got the bugs or whatever all sorted out. It was apparently some mod conflicts, so I had to get rid of a couple mods. Basically everything I had regarding pole arms is gone. And I had to update a few others, like Perkaholic, but things are working again. So I went back to Ratai and unloaded my inventory, and I was able to purchase, among other things, a nice little breastplate here. So we're a little bit better protected than we were before. I'm not wearing any other heavy armor, just the original fan braces that we were given during our archery training, and then this new plate chest piece that I picked up in town. We're still using Piercer and the Villager's Elm Bow that we got, I think, way back on our hunting trip. And so we're in Neuhof, where we need to check in with Captain Bernard, and you can see that Radzig is here as well, so we'll talk to him in a second. But first, actually, we promised that we'd talk to Zora here, so let's do that.
Glad you stopped by.
I found Ginger. He begged me to ask if he can return.
Why should I take him back? It might be his fault I had to bury my husband.
What?
Why else would he flee but guilt? The men said they didn't see him in bed. He didn't have a clean conscience because he gave those murderers a signal.
That's not true. He fled because one of the attackers recognized him and Ginger was afraid he'd come back and kill him.
Those are just excuses. He wouldn't dare come back.
But they came back the very same day. If he hadn't run, they'd have killed him and everyone else.
But why would they do that?
Why not? They'd already murdered several people. Why not a few more?
And now I'm supposed to take him back? What if they come back for him and kill one of my daughters in the process?
The cutthroats who were after him have been taken care of. And the rest have no reason to return here.
And what about the revenge? I can't take him back.
There's no need to fear vengeance. The bandits who were looking for Ginger are in hell, and no one else knows about him.
But what if they find out somehow?
The only way they could find out would be a holy vision. Anyway, I reckon they'll have more pressing concerns than coming back here.
Well, all right. Let him come back. But he'd better not do anything like that again.
Okay, so we managed to secure Ginger's return here. God, Jacob, you ever gonna, or Jacob, I guess I should say, are you ever gonna wash yourself there, bud? You are still, like, covered in blood. Right, so let's go talk to Bernard.
I'll be with you.
I talked to Ginger and found out what happened.
Out with it, then.
Ginger fled because he recognized one of the raiders. He was afraid they'd come back to silence him.
Well, he was right. They were asking about him. So who did he recognize?
He didn't know his name. Some fellow with a limp from Ujits.
All right. Since you've gone this far, you may as well ask around in Ujits. We've enough to do here in these parts anyway. Sir Radzig will tell you about it. He said to send you to him if you haven't already been.
Alright. I'm not sure how he knows that people were asking around, but okay. So let's go talk to Radzig. And then I think we might have some stuff to take care of down here before we go to Ujits. I'll have to check my quest log and see. But if not, we'll just head straight up there.
The Lord be praised. What brings you to me?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
The boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujits, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Ujits then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Mehoyed, and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir. Why choose MacLeod?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation, sir.
Good. Tell me.
The trail leads to Ujits. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubosh.
I see. What else?
That's all I found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new.
I'm not sure how we knew his name or why it offered me that second dialogue.
What the hell are you doing?
Okay. I'm not sure why it offered us that second dialogue option, but apparently we found out his name already. I'm not sure how, but we have. So...
God save you, Henry.
Oh, apparently I'm already clean enough. Right. Let's check our quest log. So, we need to go to Ujits and see what's happening there. Let's see. Vengeance. That's, you know, something that's probably never going to get settled. That's another quest that we're going to want to mark here. I'm going to unmark Scavenger and we'll mark this one because we are going to want to learn to read while we're there. That's a very important thing in this game and something that you'll need for a lot of later quests. It is possible to complete the game without ever learning, but it is a lot more difficult and you miss out on some cool stuff by ignoring it, including skill books. Let's see. I completed the last stage of this particular side quest off camera. I basically just had to steal 50 groschen from a woman, so that's what I did. And I gave it back to the vagabond, and now he wants me to steal a ring from Wolfram Pruda, who is back in Ratai. He's like a prominent merchant there or something. Alex, one of the refugees from Skalitz, wants me to bring some hare meat back there as well. So we might have to do a little bit of hunting at some point. I can probably do that off camera though. And then, let's see, we need to kill a camp leader. That's sort of nearby. Maybe we'll knock that out before we head north. And then we still need to do these brawls, which we can kind of do in any order. I would recommend completing these before you get the quest to help the... I always forget what he's called. The burger? No. The bailiff. The bailiff down in Rattay will eventually give you a quest to help him find some workers and put them into jobs. I would recommend doing this quest before that one, because at least in older versions of the game, after completing that quest, or at least, or maybe even during, it bugged out Ringlet and Steven's dialogue, and I no longer had options to brawl with them, but that may have been fixed in one of the recent patches, so I don't know. But just to be safe, I would do this sooner rather than later. So let's go deal with these bandits, because we're probably not going to be back this way for a while, and so I think it makes sense to hit it now. And I don't know if Bernard will still be here when we come back, but potentially we could go back there and turn it in. And then we're obviously going to be heading north. Oh, actually he's leaving, so I think he's going to go back to his old post. It's also important to note that if you listen to what Radzig was saying, he's going to go set up near Merhoyed, which we haven't discovered yet, but if it will let me zoom out. No, that's as far as it goes. Merhoyed is sort of in the middle of the map around here, in like the north. I think it's like here. But just to the northwest of Merhoyed, if you've discovered it, is a camp. And that's where Radzig will be with some of his men. So if you need to find him for any reason, that's where you'll want to go. And there is a particular quest I know that was bugged if you don't complete it in a certain order. And part of that process was making sure to check in with him. Because there's another point where I believe you meet back up with him at the same campsite. It may have been this campsite, but it may have been a different one. You have to meet up with him at a different campsite, not the one over here. And if you haven't checked in with him prior to that, there will be too many dialogue options, and the quest will bug out. But I'll try to remind you guys of that when we come to it. Alright, I'm close enough where I feel like I should probably go in on foot from here. So let's make sure we equip our bow. And let's see, I have 39 long distance arrows. That should be enough. Those are the best arrows I have other than these piercing arrows. But I only have 2 of those, so I don't really want to go into a fight with just 2. Because I may need to like switch midway through combat, and that can be annoying. So clearing these bandit camps can be difficult, especially if you've spec'd yourself into like a straight up melee character. If you're not particularly good at stealth or archery, you can easily get overwhelmed because there is generally about 5 bandits here. 3 of which are usually melee oriented, and like 2 archers, but that can vary. And so if you just kind of run in there and pick a fight, you will very likely find yourself having to, you know, duel several enemies at once, and that's obviously not ideal. So oh, come on, why is he jumping backwards? I can't seem to get up that. There we go. Alright, so I'm sneaking right. Okay, let's try to be very careful here. Generally, if you're patient, you can get a few of them to wander off on patrol and pick them off that way. And that is generally the best way to do it, because obviously if you can divide and conquer, then it makes the fight much easier. Somebody just said something. Oh, okay, I've been spotted. I don't know how or why. Who is shouting? Oh, there's somebody. Oh, they hit the tree.
You're in the wrong place.
Oh, that was weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to duel him. Please get your weapon out, Henry. Thank you. Ah, this guy's actually pretty good. This might be the leader.
Over here! Where is
Here comes his backup.
I'll have you.
Nope. One thing that the AI does pretty well is they attempt to surround you, so what you'll need to watch out for. Oh, damn it. Ooh, he's got combos.
Bollocks!
But yeah, you'll need to continually kind of back away if they're trying to encircle you, because obviously that's never going to end well for you. Oh, come on. I hate when they do the counters that you can't block. Like, you should be able to parry just about everything, but a lot of their combos have, like, unblockables in them. Yeah, this guy is pretty good. He's got an axe, too, so he's just going to absolutely slaughter me. Here comes an archer. So we're going to go with plan B, which is calling pebbles.
Show what you're made of.
And then, try not to ride through the bushes, we'll get our bow out. And you might have to do the first couple this way, just because they can be quite difficult to deal with early on. So what you want to do is, that went right through him. Get yourself some distance with the horse, shoot them, and then just kind of ride back this way. And just basically rinse and repeat that. Because you should be effectively untouchable on your horse as long as you keep them away. Did you bleed out? No. Let's make sure he... Oh, crap. I can't lower my arrow that far. Or my bow. Let's see. He's going to flee. I don't want you to flee. So I'm going to shoot you. Come on, Henry. Draw your bow. Get your stamina back. You're on a horse. You can't be that tired. There we go. Okay, so we'll come back this way. That went right through his torso again. The hitboxes with the arrows are kind of odd sometimes. There's another shot. But this is probably the best way to deal with any sort of enemy that you're not prepared for. Come on, go down, man. Go down already. Let's see if we can hit this guy. He's not paying attention. Oh, come on. Nor is he that well armored, so... Damn. Okay, so the leader bled out. That was the leader. And I'm somehow exhausted again. It's the bow's using up my stamina is what it is. Ah, I need more space. I'm not super impressed with the speed of horses in this game. There are horses that are insanely fast. This one is one of the slower ones because it's the starter horse. But the bandits can keep up with you on foot pretty well, which is kind of, I don't know, not realistic. Damn. I'm a bit rusty, as you guys can tell. I haven't been able to play in quite a while because of the crash to desktop issue. Come on. Gotcha. Alright, so that is 3 of them. There's still probably 2 more. Where is your weapon? Oh, look, he died right on top of the other one. That's convenient. Make sure you grab all those ears and make sure you do not turn them in until you get to Sir Sebastian later in the game. Because he will pay you far, far more than anybody else will for them. In fact, like 25 times what anybody else will pay. So I think Bernard will give you 25 for each ear. Sebastian will give you 625 for each ear. So that's obviously a pretty substantial difference. Let's grab those. Take my arrows back out of your torso. And that's a bit heavy. I'll grab those, and I think that's about it. You know what? That's pretty valuable too. Okay, I'm just making sure we're not getting encumbered here. Do I have any marigold decoctions? I have a few. That'll help us heal up a little bit. And I'm going to sneak back in. Although, I don't remember where... Hold on. Because we have to make sure we get the trophy off of the leader. And I don't remember where he went down. And it's a bit difficult to tell in this grass. But at least being on the horse, we're a little bit higher up. So that is him. Okay. Let's see. So the leader's spurs are basically the quest item, and then he has an ear as well that you can turn in. That's a fairly valuable axe, so I will take it. Same with those gauntlets. Let's see. Anything else? This is one of the worst chainmail shirts in the game. It's, I think, the heaviest and one of the worst armored, so I wouldn't bother with it. I'll take those arrows though, and I won't bother with anything else. I don't want to encumber myself. Okay, so let's head back towards the camp. We may as well get all the ears. And we'll try not to get noticed this time, even though I'm not sure how they spotted me through the heavy brush like that while I was sneaking. But apparently they did. And if we're lucky, they'll be sleeping or something. But there should be a few more. Yeah, there's 2. Unfortunately, he sat down facing me. It's going to be hard to sneak up on him. The other guy walked off. Ah, he turned around. Okay. But yeah, the other guy walked off in that general direction. Oh, he came back. And now they're talking or something? Damn it. I held it too long. Yeah, and then now I'm way off. Well... Let's see. Yeah, you're going to surrender. I'm just going to put you down point blank. And we'll see if your friend comes back. Your weapon is worthless. I'll take your ear, though. And my arrows. And wow, your loot kind of sucked. He'll come back. They always eventually work their way back to the camp. So you can just kind of wait here. That is going to be too difficult for us to open. Yeah. Also, it's probably empty, because this is where they store their equipment when they go to sleep. So if you are very good at lockpicking, and you're able to sneak up on them at night, I've actually done it where I was able to loot all of their goods from here while they slept, and when they woke up they were all in their underwear and just ran out into the forest. Funny, but I don't recommend doing that, because then it becomes very hard to track them down, and you do need the loot off of the leader. So if he's running around naked in the woods, it can be, you know, a bit hard to complete the quest. I'm going to assume he went this way. But he's probably got a pretty good lead on me at this point. Alright, I was able to find him. He's on the road here. And I'm going to try to sneak up behind him. I don't think I'll be able to sneak up to melee range, but I might be able to put an arrow in his back before he notices. Oh, come on. You're just gonna stand there? Why is my archery so off? I feel like my archery skill went down or something. That hit him. Great. Pebbles, where you at? Oops, sorry, didn't mean to whistle in your ear. Ah, shit. Come on. Well, he's probably long gone at this point. It took us too long to get on the horse. Didn't go that way. He probably went off into the woods, which... good luck finding him. Come on, man. Why don't you fight me? Coward. There is a little mine shaft here as well that we can investigate. There is a bit of loot in there. It's in a chest. I do not recall if you have to pick it or not, but we'll run in there and check. He may have gone in here, actually. I doubt it, though. Oh. Let's see. There we go. So here's our loot. Oh, it's not locked. Fantastic. So we got a communion chalice, 58 groschen, a potion, a lockpick, and a silver ring. Make sure you wear a silver ring if you get any, because they give you quite a bit of charisma. And are, I believe, better in every way to Bianca's ring. So while Bianca's ring is a nice little like keepsake or whatever, and a unique item, the generic silver rings are actually better. And then before I leave, why don't you go free? Okay. So we're about done here. Am I hungry before we leave? No. Doesn't appear like I am. Are you going to come back, Mr. Bandit? I doubt it. We could sleep here, and he may come back if I do that. Hopefully he doesn't try to kill me in my sleep. I highly doubt that, too. Let's see. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll sleep here, because it is dark already, and we have a long ride, so riding in the dark is never all that fun. Oh, wait, here he is. We'll hunt him in the dark. But he's got, like, AI wall hacks. I don't, so he'll probably spot me well before I spot him. Oh, man, he's got, like, a good distance on me there. Okay. So I finally found him. Running him down. I went way too early there. I wish the, combat from horseback was a little bit easier. It's very difficult to time the swings. You have to be pretty early with them. And then the range on them is not very good. Did I get you? I hit you. Where the hell did you go? He just keeps running back and forth. This is going to be real annoying. Down he goes, alright. So the stab worked better. I mean, this is a piercer, so it makes sense. Alright. What did you have? Well, an ear. That's pretty much what we came for. Hunter's gloves, my favorite source of income. I'll take my arrows back. And then there's silver ring, but that's about it. But at least we took care of everybody there, and we did get his ear, which will be worth probably the most of anything that was on him. And I don't know that I want to bother sleeping there now. I've ridden a good distance away. I'm actually not that far from town here. Huh. Problem is there's nowhere for me to sleep in there. I'd have to go all the way back to the mill. But I could, you know what, I could go to the lodgings here. That might not be such a bad idea. And then in the morning I can turn in the quest and we can go north to Ujits. I think we'll do that.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sacre. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Alright, so obviously we won't be getting any answers out of him. Let's go inside and examine the body. Okay.
Lord above, they did a hell of a job on him. Must have been agony. How come no one heard anything? What's this? Looks like someone's hit him very hard on the head. Could they have bludgeoned him to death and then gutted him? That would explain why he didn't scream.
Alright.
An inscription in blood. It's a pity I don't know how to read. Looks like they wanted to give someone a warning. But who? And a bandit who knows how to write isn't something you see every day.
Okay, so we can look around the rest of the house as well. We can also eat from his pot, which I'm going to do, because I'm hungry. We can sleep on these. Apparently they've added the ability to sleep and save on these benches here. It seems like they've made the game a lot easier in a lot of respects. The lockpicking mechanic has changed slightly. And overall, it just seems like they've dumbed things down a bit, which is kind of disappointing, actually. I thought it was fine the way it was, and a lot of people seem to be complaining for no reason, but it looks like they caved. Let's see. Anything in here? Nobody's gonna notice, right? So yeah, they've added this now, and it's just to, I guess, help you keep track of where you're supposed to be or something. I had no problem with it before. It wasn't that hard to max your lockpicking skill, even with the old system. No, none of that's worth taking. And I'm sure this is all food. I wonder if they've changed it slightly, because last time I was in here there was... Oh, there we go.
Nothing here.
There was a lot more of those things that you could inspect. But yeah, just a bunch of food. Man, how do you live like this? I don't think there's anything up there. I keep seeing... it must have just been that. Alright, well, let's leave. And we'll need to question the villagers who've all run off now. And you can actually skip all this if you want and just go talk to the pastor, or I guess the priest. But, again, if you want to kind of get the whole story, you need to talk to people. So we want to make sure we're heading into town. I think I came in... Yeah, I came in the wrong way, sort of. I came in... I fast traveled to Talmberg, and then I rode sort of like through here, and then I think I ended up there, and then came in this way, and then south. So I need to turn around. And we'll talk to some people. You know, I'm just going to go straight to the priest, actually. We'll move this along a little bit. Now... if you are going for the achievement where you want to remain celibate the entire game, this particular town is not the place you want to be. Both of the quests that go through the priest are quests in which you will... What's happening? I heard someone shout. Was that Henry? Anyways, both of the quests that go through the priest are quests that will eventually end with you no longer being celibate, so make sure that you avoid anything involving him if that is your goal. I don't know where he is right now. He might be inside. It is still a bit early, so he might be sleeping. Let's see. He's not here. That's a shame. Let's see. And this is just a room to nowhere? What's even the point? Why is it private? Like, what would they be hiding in there? Let's see. I think he lives in a house. Ah, there he is. I was gonna say, I think he lives in a house nearby, and sure enough, that's the one.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhof, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child. All sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhof was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
For heaven's sake, Father, can you really look me in the eye and tell me that, when you know you may be condemning innocent people to death?
I can, because if I broke that vow, the consequences would be much worse than if I didn't. Maybe not immediately, but one day. The mills of God grind slowly.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening. In the tavern. Over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Okay. So that's the first part. Let's talk to him one more time.
Do you have any work that needs doing?
My dear lad, I have more worries than I can bear. Another pair of shoulders would ease my burden. I have to deal with a local witch.
A witch?
The herb woman, old Gertrude. That devious hag who will stoop to anything. Like all herbalists, for that matter.
Oh, don't tell me. The cows are giving blood instead of milk, and babies are being born with 2 heads and a tail.
This is no laughing matter. Gertrude isn't evil. She just has peculiar ideas about what's good for people. A little bird told me she incited some Uzhet's women to witchery.
A little bird told you, did it?
You know how good people are at seeing the splinter in another's eye and not the beam in their own.
In other words, someone's been gossiping. And what's the problem?
As long as herb women stick to giving psychic to folk and bloated cows, assisting in childbirth, or burning incense in bedrooms to help with sleep, then nothing at all. But this is sacrilege, and it's unsafe. All sorts of molds and lichens and poisonous plants and other foul things go into those concoctions. I'd hate to see her poison some poor gullible lass.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to go and see her and find out what she's been up to. I know she lives in fear of the Holy Church, so tell her I sent you. That will make her talk and think twice about encouraging witchcraft. If you learn that she truly did involve folk in some foolishness, find out all you can and deal with it.
Consider it done.
Good. And never fear. I'm a man who always pays his debts. You'll find Gertrude, the old herb woman, in the woods.
Okay, so as strange as it sounds, both of the quests that we've just, well, one of them we took from him, the other we just advanced through him, but both of those quests end in Henry getting laid. So, if, again, you're going for that celibate perk, not the best way to go for that here. So, we need to, I meant to go into my journal, we need to figure out where this herb woman is. I need to unmark, yeah, let's unmark that for now. And we'll mark that in green. And we'll head out in there in just a second, but before we do, we're going to want to stop by the scribe, who is apparently like straight ahead. Okay, so this should be his little building here. And this will cost us a bit of money, but if you're playing like me, then that shouldn't be a problem. I'm up to nearly 5k in Groshen right now. So, I mean, I can buy just about anything I want. And I believe that's him.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to learn to read.
You? You don't look like the makings of a priest or clerk. But why not? I've taught all sorts. Bear in mind, it won't be all that easy. You'll need plenty of time and a few groschen for my trouble.
All right. I don't want to waste time. We can get started. The sooner I master it, the better.
Very well. I will require some groschen from you, though, and set aside at least a couple of days so I can put you through your paces, if indeed time is of the essence.
Here are your groschen.
Then we may as well start. No. He did break his vow, but better than to dishonor it here. May he follow his heart. Wake up, lad. It's time we were getting on. So, let's see you read a bit. There's a book here on the table. Try to read
Okay.
it.
So,
You ought to be able to. It's a simple text. Come back once you've worked your way through it.
where are your shoes? Anyways, even though he says it's going to take a couple of days, it doesn't. It just takes, like, I think, an hour or 3. So it does take a little bit of time, but it doesn't advance the day or anything, because we would have failed the quest to meet the priest in the evening had we done that. And I know that because I have failed to meet him, and he is referring to that evening. So if you don't go that evening, you will fail it. However, you can talk to him and reconcile it and then meet with him again. So even if you do miss it, it's not the end of the world, but in this case we didn't, because it only took us a few hours, not a few days. Alright, so one day a countryman going to the nest of his goose found there an egg, all yellow and glittering. When he took it up, it was as heavy as lead, and he was going to throw it away, because he thought a trick had been played upon him. But he took it home on second thoughts, and soon found, to his delight, that it was an egg of pure gold. Every morning the same thing occurred, and he soon became rich by selling these eggs. As he grew rich, he grew greedy, and thinking to get at once all the gold the goose could have, or could give, he killed it and opened it, only to find nothing.
I've read the book.
Wonderful. So tell me, what have you learned?
Alright, so the answer is, of course, the last one.
That being greedy doesn't pay.
Excellent. You're one of my most talented pupils. You've uncovered the meaning hidden in the letters. Like I told you, books are valuable, and the words that you place in them ought to be no less so.
Does that mean that I can read then?
Yes, you have the foundation. Remember, my boy, the pen is mightier than the sword. To fully learn your way around words will take a lot more reading yet. Now we'll move on to the second lesson, which will be much harder. Many books are written in Latin, the language of erudite and religious men. If you really want to be able to read, there's no getting away from Latin. There's a book on the table with some text. Read it and then come back. You need not understand it, but you should master the letters.
I only just managed the fable about the goose, and now you're asking me to tackle Latin.
You're a clever lad. You'll manage.
Okay, now we got to do this book over here on this slanted thing. I'm just going to jump on the table. I don't want to sit down. And this is going to be much harder. So we just have to go back to him and effectively guess which is the correct one, if I remember right.
I read the page.
So tell me, Distupule, what's written there?
And I believe it is the center one here, because I actually recognize a few of those words, whereas this is obviously incorrect, and this I don't think is anything.
Nullus est liber tam malus, ut non alique parte prosit.
Good heavens! Don't tell me you haven't had lessons before. Excellent. Well, there's nothing more I can teach you. Congratulations. You can go and be ordained right away.
Thank you, Domine. I'm feeling a lot, wiser.
Okay, so now we can read, and we've also unlocked the reading skill. So we start at level 3, and we did get a perk as well. Let's see, so we have Colleague, which makes all books cheaper in shops, or we have In the Flow, which when you're reading you'll get tired and hungry half as quickly. I'm going to go with Colleague because books can be very expensive, and cutting the prices down a little bit will help. Not that I have any trouble with money, it's just, you know, every little bit helps. And then I did level up my horsemanship on the way here, so let's see. I'm actually going to take neither of these. In my experience, any of the perks that offer you a trade-off are not worth taking. So in this case, the horse is faster but carries less weight. In this one, the horse carries more but is slower. Yeah, don't waste your perk points on these. If you want a faster horse, save up your money and go buy one of the better higher tier horses. And it's possible to get a horse that is like twice as good at pebbles in every possible way. It's also possible to just buy better equipment and make pebbles significantly better. So depending on what you want to do, if you're attached to your starter horse, you can get like the top tier horseshoes, the top tier bridle, top tier saddle, and basically turn pebbles into a war horse. I think I've gotten his or her, I feel like it's a her, like that seems like a female name to me. But anyways, I've gotten her speed up to, I think, as high as 42. So, pretty substantial. Whereas, I mean, you can buy a horse that's faster than that, but not by much. Now, of course, if you put the better horseshoes on that horse, then it'll be even faster. But I find that it's almost too fast. It becomes hard to control when it's sprinting. And it doesn't really feel like you're even running. You're kind of like gliding across the ground. I'm going to put this perk into Burger because this is going to boost my strength, agility, vitality, and speech in towns. Now, you could argue that Savage is better because this is going to boost the same stats, but when you are in the wilds. So, for example, when we're hunting bandits, this will give me a boost in combat. However, I find that combat, once you have your skills leveled up in decent gear, is not very hard. But having an extra perk point, or excuse me, an extra speech point, or strength to intimidate people when you're in towns making speech checks, so that's where most of your speech happens, is a little bit better, in my opinion. So I'm going to take that. And again, we're not going to spend that point. So now we know how to read, and all before noon. Let's see. No, I'm not going to do that. Alright. So we need to go talk to the witch. Pebbles, where'd you go? Oh, you're all the way down there? I should have turned around. It would have teleported to me. Okay. Let's hop on, pivot around, and that is due west.
I've come from the priest. They're saying you incited some women to witchcraft.
Me? Witchcraft? That's nothing but idle chatter.
You'd be wise to give me a straight answer. I mean you no harm.
As long as it's the truth you speak. Very well. I'll tell you everything. I've done a very foolish thing. It's preying on my mind so much I can't sleep a wink.
But I'm supposed to believe an old witch has pangs of conscience.
Laugh if you like, but it's not a word of a lie. You probably know I sell various magic lotions and potions alongside my herbs. Well, there's one I wish I hadn't sold. You see, Vera, Zlata, and Kuta from Uzhitz wanted a magic ointment from me. I kept refusing them, but in the end, I let them talk me into it.
What kind of ointment was it?
One that will show you a world no one else can see. A place of wonder and terror. The flowers might start talking to you, or the earth could swallow you up. I don't know if it's the work of the devil or of God himself, but the ointment has that power. But it could poison any person who doesn't know how to use it right.
So all this talk of witches anointing themselves and then flying to their sabbaths on broomsticks.
The ointment could make a person see such things. But it was stupid of me letting those foolish women get their hands on it. They could poison themselves or fall off a cliff while they're lost in a dream.
Will you give me the ointment recipe?
It contains belladonna and the herb Paris, both quite poisonous plants. That ought to make you think twice about dabbling with it.
So why did you give them the ointment at all?
Because I'm soft-hearted. You see, one of those women, Vera, lost her whole family in Skalitz. And Zlata's husband was killed. And the youngest of them, Kuta, miscarried with the horror of it all. They said they wanted to use the ointment to speak with the dead and ask them to put a word in with the Lord.
I understand how they feel. But I reckon it'll get them nowhere but the ducking stool and the stake.
Judge not, lest ye be judged. I didn't want to give them the ointment, but they offered me a pile of groschen. So I thought how desperate they must be, and I heard their plea.
Their plea, or the clink of their coin? And why are you so worried about them all of a sudden? What changed your mind?
I'm losing sleep over it. Firstly, those women don't know what they're doing. And secondly, folk might see it as witchcraft. And do you know what they do to witches?
They burn them alive.
That they do. So don't be surprised I'm worried.
It didn't bother you before, though. What did they want the ointment for?
Each one of them lost a loved one recently, and it's grieving them. They wanted to talk with the dead.
I've heard enough.
If you've heard enough, you must understand why I need your help. Find out from those women what they intend, and watch over them to keep them safe.
Very well. But only because the priest himself asked me to.
Thank you 1,000-fold. I'll go to the Reverend myself and explain. You take care of those women.
Okay, so now we can rob her absolutely blind. She has all sorts of recipes here that I recommend taking. She's going to sit there. We can go inside without being noticed. And she's got a bunch of, she has a bunch of stuff on her, but she also has a chest with a lot of stuff in it. So if we're quiet, we can lockpick this. And let's see, let's try not to linger too long, because she may come to investigate. And let's see, there's the potion that she was talking about. So let's see, now that we can actually read, let's go ahead and read that. And if we want to, we can check it out right here, but we'll do that later because we don't have any skill in alchemy, so it's not like we could do anything with it yet. And then on her person she has quite a bit of stuff as well. So let's see here. I think I'm too noisy. Hold on. Right, let's get rid of that, and that temporarily. Unfortunately, where she's currently sitting, I don't know that I can knock her out. Huh. Shame, because she has a bunch of good stuff on her. And I don't think she has like a separate merchant chest. Most of the other merchants do, but I don't think that she does. Bummer. Well, we got that potion at least. Or the recipe, anyway. So we're going to head back to town and have a chat with those women.
I heard something about a magic ointment that you got from the herb woman.
You heard that where? And what business is it of yours?
The priest is concerned.
The priest can go to hell. All he cares about is filling his belly. And then that bastard talks down to us from the pulpit about temperance and humility. It's because of his sword, the lords and the humans here, that killed my husband and children. Where was the priest then, eh?
You do know that what I've heard amounts to a burning offense?
We're doing no wrong. Just putting on some herb ointment at the crossroads in the woods at midnight. What of it?
That sounds like devilry to me.
Our souls are our own concern. God has forsaken us, and we have to fend for ourselves.
Who's there?
Alright, so we've got a new objective. I should put my stuff back on, because I'm a little bit more intimidating when I'm wearing plate armor. And a little bit more charismatic with that ring on. So there we go. I wish that this male collar didn't clip, because I like the look of it up here. Especially since, you may have noticed when I wear this Kotahardy or whatever it's called, his neck gets like kind of weird. It sort of gets like mushed in. And same with the collar of his shirt. So it looks a bit strange. I was trying to hide it with this. And this hides it the best, but it clips with the shoulders really badly, which is unfortunate. Maybe I'll put it on though.
What
Why
are you
like, standing
doing?
You were like standing inside me. That was your fault. And somehow my horse managed to ride into this tree. Okay, so we have a bunch of time now before nightfall, so we gotta figure out what we want to do. I may just wait, because it is a little after noon. Suppose I could try to sell some stuff. Alright, so here they come. I'm waiting right at the edge of the forest, where they're supposed to be meeting. The marker's like right there. I should probably, I know I just put this stuff back on, but I should probably take off anything loud and metal. You know what, I'm actually going to leave it on, because we are going to have to fight here, and I would prefer to be a little bit better protected than not. So let's see, we got B and C coming around the corner here. A is still a way back there. I probably shouldn't move too much. God, what's taking her so long? Oh, there she is. Alright. We'll follow them from behind. I think that's probably the best way to go about this. We'll try not to get noticed. But we also don't want to lose them, obviously. So I'll follow at a good little distance here, but not too far, especially when they go out into the forest, because it'll be pretty difficult to keep up with them going through the trees. You wait there, Pebbles.
We're all here. We can set off. Is it far? Not at all. But we should put the ointment on now. It takes a while to start working.
Shut up, cow.
Where exactly do you put it on?
Well, there. You know.
I feel shy.
So playing games with the devil is all right, but dabbing some ointment on your cunny is going too far.
Aye, well... Don't peek for a bit. I'm not sure.
Don't worry. Plenty of women have tried it before us.
What if it does work? What if he does appear?
But that's what we want, isn't it? Let's go.
Okay, we're off. Thanks for nothing, cow. I think this is a good distance. Let's try not to get too much closer than this. Eventually they will break off the path, so make sure you're not too far back, because, you know, once they... God, shut up! Once they cut off the path, it can be very difficult to track them. It will give you a quest marker though, so you just kind of have to wander through the woods until you come to it, but easier to just stay with them, I feel like. Okay, so we're coming up on the meeting place. I don't recommend hiding along the path where they come in, because at one point one of them will wander out looking for something, and if you are hiding there, then she may walk smack into you, or if you try to move, she may notice you. So I'm gonna set up probably over here. I don't know, somewhere where I can see them, but definitely not somewhere where they're gonna walk right into me. Maybe like right here.
We all know what to do, don't we?
I'm not altogether sure. Gertrude didn't want to say anything about that, so all we know is what we came up with ourselves. Damn. I feel, peculiar now.
The ointment is the main thing, and we'll think up some chant or two.
Just let's get it over with, quick. I keep hearing weird noises.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done? When... Damn it!
The battle's lost and won. What's that nonsense you bubbling?
I didn't make it up. It came out of me all by itself.
My vision's blacking out, and I feel the earth moving. Maybe this wasn't a good idea.
We're not doing it for our sake. Our intentions are pure. There's nothing to worry about.
Silence. Hush now. Do you hear that? As if someone was singing.
That'll be the tree roots. The earth speaks to us. Like Gertrude said. Why is it getting so dark?
It's singing very loud. Make them stop. At least for a while, please. My head hurts.
Don't be scared. Let it happen. Lucifer, star of the morning, we're here to ask you a boon.
What is it? Mary, pray for us. I feel the devil is coming.
I'll go toward him. Show him the way to find us.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now at the hour of our death.
What are you praying to the Virgin Mary? You'll scare the devil away.
Stop praying and speaking of death. We are here to save lives since we've lost our own. Satan, appear and send pestilence on all the humans. I'm coming to meet you. Lord of Darkness, we are here. Come unto us.
Okay, so apparently they come toward you no matter what. Because I definitely did not set up over there last time. I was over here. But it looks like,
Who's me? You're Lucifer, aren't you? Oh, Lucifer, thank you for heeding our call. I hear someone coming. Who's there? Is it you, Kuta?
No, I'm still over here.
What's going on here?
Welcome, Prince of Darkness. And make yourself at home.
What would you like us to do? We will fulfill your every wish if you fulfill ours.
Prince of Darkness? What in God's name are you babbling about?
Why are you testing us?
Testing you? Jesus Christ, what have you been smearing on yourselves?
A magic ointment from the herb woman? We are ready to pleasure you, Lord. In return, all we ask is that you rid us of the humans. And if you won't rid us of them, then help us get away from here. Give us riches, so we can start a new life in the city.
I won't be fulfilling any of your wishes.
Oh. What must we do to please you, O Lord?
In return, you'll have to... Shit. I feel very weird. ointment. You smeared the ointment on me.
Fear not, my lord. Nothing will happen to you. It's all part of the ceremony.
Shit. What the fuck? What did you do to me?
Are you quite well after your long journey?
Huh? Long journey? What?
From the gates of hell to here. When will you take care of the humans? And why don't you have horns and hooves and a goat's tail, like the priest said?
I flew in on a tree branch. It took no time at all.
Flying on a branch? Will you teach us how to do that too? We are your maid servants now. We'll do anything you wish.
How come you're a talking mare?
What mare? Does your sight deceive you? I'm Vera, and I turn many a young man's head in Uzhitz.
I got rid of my horns and hooves along the way. And, keep my tail in my breeches. I only get it out for special occasions.
I hope there'll be one soon enough.
Actually, I wanted something else.
What's that, oh lord?
Will you serve me and do all I tell you to?
Oh yes, our Lord of Hellfire. We'll do whatever you want. Just rid us of those wretched humans. Which one will you take first?
Me! Take me!
No, me.
And what about the other one? Why doesn't she speak up?
Kuta! You chicken! Speak up!
Alright, so it doesn't matter what you pick here.
I want you, Mare. Vera.
I knew it. Come on. Come closer to me.
So basically what you have to do is go up behind whichever animal you choose. Actually, I don't even know if it matters. Let's see. Apparently it does. So you'll get a prompt to lockpick when you go up behind the animal that you chose. And obviously this is sort of a euphemism for something. I don't know. I was under the impression that this does count toward the celibacy perk. Or excuse me, achievement. So this could actually prevent you from getting it. But I read a guide somewhere that did not list this as one of the ways that you could potentially lose out on it. So I don't know whether or not this quest for sure will lose you the achievement. However, I would assume so, because obviously what you're doing here, even though it's not explicit, is pretty heavily implied.
That was tough. Oh, but I'm all dizzy again.
What is wrong with you? Is something going to come of it or not?
I need to sleep.
Bugger sleep! What was that? What is it? Someone coming!
Place at the wrong time.
Okay, so now we have to fight.
What's the
It
matter?
would be preferable if you did not kill these people, as they are not actually demons. Unfortunately, I just ran him through, so that can't really be helped. But yeah, they're actually woodsmen, and the priest is not going to be pleased when he hears what happens. However, if you don't defeat them one way or another, they will kill the women. And so it's pretty difficult to get out of there with nobody dying, but I believe it can be done. Okay, so we wake up, and yeah, there's two woodsmen's corpses here. Oh, actually, he's listed as a bandit. Interesting. And what are you listed as? Also a bandit. Okay. I'm pretty sure when you talk to the when you talk to the priest, though, he calls them woodsmen, which is kind of interesting. Ooh, silent shoes. We're going to throw those on right away. When I first played through the game, I actually thought this was a unique item, but it's not. You can find them anywhere, and you can have several pairs. But they have 0 noise, so these do not make any sound when you walk. No footsteps or anything. They also have very good charisma for boots. The hunting boots that I'm wearing are only 5. These are 12, and then the visibility and conspicuousness are actually very low too. So these are the best stealth boots that you can find, and are actually pretty good for charismatic like speech characters too. So all around a decent option for rogues.
Pray, do tell.
The women have got hold of some magic lotion from the herb, and they're using it to summon the devil.
For the love of heaven.
I followed them to where they held their Sabbath. They summoned the devil, danced around a fire.
Oh my God, what else?
The women were completely out of their minds from that ointment. Then some woodcutters stormed it. They wanted to put a stop to the witch's Sabbath.
Good God. And what happened?
I had to kill the woodcutters to save those women from them.
For Christ's sake! How could you? Such needless slaughter! Those men meant well. Was there no other way to stop the bloodshed?
The woodcutters were beside themselves with rage, baying for the women's blood. There was no reasoning with them.
There must have been another way.
I did everything I could.
The good Lord observes your deeds. Pray for the souls of those unfortunate Christians. Pray, because you have blood on your hands. At least you see where dancing with the devil can take you. Pray for their loved ones and for your soul and mine, because we share the blame. And now please, go. Leave me alone to pray.
Good day to you.
Have you thought of a way to help me solve that murder?
Let's leave it for the evening. Come to the tavern after sunset and we'll talk it over.
Okay guys, well, we were able to finish one of Father Godwin's quests, but obviously we still need to do the other, where we meet him in the evening to discuss what we're going to do about this murder mystery. So I'm going to leave it here for today, and we'll carry on with, oh, what's happening here at the Pillory? Who's this?
God save you, Henry.
Oh, I don't have anything, sorry. Hey, we're matching. Like, almost identical. I have the same gambeson and shirt thing and pants thing as him. That's funny. Anyways, we're going to leave it here for today, and we'll carry on with the rest of this quest in the next episode. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Kingdom Come Deliverance with you. I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.